Hey, Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to another Chamber check in episode from Idaho's only five-star accredited chamber. We begin the new year featuring Stephanie Bennett with Cruise Planners. I've known Stephanie for, almost a decade now, and from her previous entrepreneurial endeavors, and now she has found her passion helping others discover experiences as a travel advisor through Cruise Planners. I'm going to bring her on stage right now. Hi, Stephanie.
Hello, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Hey, it's been a long time since we've seen each other since yesterday. So
Since yesterday
um,
morning, yes.
thanks for carving out some time. These chamber check ins have been it's the sixth year of them as we start them. And we've featured almost 700 businesses in that amount of time. And we're excited to feature you today. Stephanie, let's start out with you. Tell us a little bit about your background and history of work that led you to become an entrepreneur.
Okay, well, I'll start with that. I am originally from Central Coast, California. I'm not a California transplant per se. We moved here with Mountain Home, but from California, I did move to Hawaii, and then from Hawaii, I ended up in Colorado in a ski town, well, Colorado Springs, and then up in a ski town, Steamboat Springs, Colorado. And I worked at a Sheraton resort and on the mountain, and just loved the hospitality industry. And I thought that I was going to travel and get exploring. I was young, and so I started searching into maybe being a flight attendant, where I met my husband, who was just graduating from the Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs in 2 weeks. He was ended up getting stationed in Texas, and I had to make a decision whether I was going to go with him. We were going to get married and go to Texas, or I was going to pursue my travel. Needless to say, I did the right choice, and we've been together 36 years. But
Wow.
so my life has come around full circle, I feel like, because we came up to Boise. He was stationed here at Mountain Home, and now is a FedEx pilot and travels a lot. And so we get to travel together. But I had a small business, which you know about, from 2010 to 2016, making Steph Seriously Good salsa, and was a member of the chamber at that time. And so this was in the meantime, from Texas to Boise, we had spent an assignment, his last Air Force assignment, in Spain. So we moved over to Spain, and we were there for almost 3 years. Came back, and then we started the salsa business a little bit later. But it was kind of interesting. I was connected to Create Common Good, who was a member of the chamber at the time, and Tara Russell was a speaker at one of the big events, and she was presenting. She was just on the Today Show. She was just there was a big deal because of this Fathom cruise line that she was a part of launching. And it was a cruise with a destination and with a purpose.
That's right.
I'm making salsa. I'm not involved in travel at that time whatsoever. I'm local, fresh salsa in the co-op, Whole Foods, Albertsons, all of that. And I ended up being invited by Create Common Good because they started packaging my salsa. So they invited me to come and sit at the table, listen to Tara. And I met with her after, and I just wanted to thank her for her vision with even Create Common Good, because that was a wonderful endeavor. And she said, well, you should come to our inaugural cruise in Miami. We sail in August or whenever it was in 2016. And so I said, I've never been on a cruise before. And she said, well, I'm going to invite you and your husband. You be my guest and come down, and then you'll see what we're about. And so my husband couldn't go, but I was able to go down there, and unfortunately the cruise did not launch. It was the inaugural. They had some security issues with one of the sealants of the interior doors, something. It wouldn't pass inspection. So all of us who were there at the terminal, they put us up in the Hilton in a hotel. And it was funny meeting everybody there. um, people start talking, and then what do you do? What do you do? And I said, I make salsa. And it was about 75 or 80% travel advisors and social media and regular media for this event. And so they just thought, why are you here? This this seems silly that you're invited to come. I said, well, Tara, who's standing up there with the microphone, she invited me, so I'm here. Anyways, I met a really fun group of people. We stayed 2 nights in the hotel in Miami, and they paid for excursions and all of this for us to do just to entertain us. And then they sent us home, and we were all disappointed. That was going to be my first cruise. But I got home and I told my husband, I said, I really met some fun travel advisors that were cruise planners. And it seemed like an interesting business concept because I could work from home. Well, at that time, I wasn't even thinking about it. I was making salsa. I just said those were fun people. So we're doing salsa. We end up shutting that business down after a little while. I took about a year off. And then my husband said, because he knew I was antsy to do something.
Yeah.
And he said, what are you thinking? And I said, well, I don't know. And he said, do you remember those cruise planners you talked about? He said, that was kind of a great concept. We should look at that. As for him as a pilot and for me enjoying to travel, it kind of made sense that at this time, when our kids are grown and we're an empty nest, that it would be a good time. And so we bought our franchise in 2017, a year later. And it was I had never been on a cruise, and I bought a franchise called Cruise Planners. So we thought we probably should go on a cruise so that we know what we're doing and we know what it's like for other people. And our first cruise was a Carnival, and we took our family. We had a great time. But so then from there, it was just kind of an on the job. I was just diving in because they give you so much training, so many opportunities for learning the travel business, that I tried to take advantage of all of that. And then COVID happened. And COVID was tough because all the work that I had done was shut down, was canceled. However, it gave me an opportunity at that time to continue my learning and to dive deeper into, okay, I need, while we're not traveling, I need to be doing some studying about these different locations, different cruise types, different travel types, because we're not just cruises, although our name says Cruise Planners. Yeah, and we can talk about it. But I do all travel. So anyways, that's how we got into Cruise Planners.
Wow, what a great story! I've heard most of that, but not all of it. And now I remember Tara and with Fathom travel, because that's a Boise story too, right?
Yep. So, and that was, I know agents that went on that trip and said it was incredible. And I wished it was successful. I wish it was still a program that was operating, but unfortunately it's not.
Okay, so we understand why travel advisor, why you're picking that, but why cruise planners? And tell us a little bit about their history.
So Cruise Planners was started about 33 years ago, and two ladies down in Florida were agents, and they decided to start this program to help other interested agents have it and operate, not necessarily under them, but with their own business. So they were going to help them operate their own businesses, but it grew and it's grown to over $1 billion industry right now. It's one of the top franchise businesses to get into. And travel, I was just reading an article yesterday about getting into travel right now is one of the biggest industries. And so I feel like it's a great time for doing that. We have so much support with Cruise Planners, and I really appreciate that. The training that they have. I just got back from a training that we left on Puerto Rico, and it was on a Windstar luxury cruise line, and we were getting sales training half the day, and then we get to go play the rest of the day. But it was still training that they offer for us. I've gone to do Disney specialization in Disney World, and we were invited VIP to attend the Epic Universal Studios new park, Epic, which is amazing. And there were about 40 of us agents out of there's 3,000, at least 3,000 franchise owners. And so there's 40 of us that were invited VIP to come and tour the park. And so booking Disney, I'm leaving for Disney next week. Disney's one of my passions. I'm not a Disney fanatic because I know there are some that take Disney like way over the top or focus on Disney, and I appreciate that because it is a lot of work. There's a lot of parts to Disney. So anyways, I digress. That's a separate thing. But Cruise Planners has just provided the opportunities, the training, the support, the technology. They're on top of AI. They're on top of everything. They operate our websites. They help us with everything. So it's a really great company to be a part of.
Thanks, Stephanie. I think that rings true. If you find an organization that supports like that, and finding a franchise to buy into, there's a lot out there. So thanks for explaining that. Okay, when you think about, I mean, this is a great time of the year to be thinking about travel plans for, I mean, like talking to you today, if I'm going to call you and I'm going to say, hey, I want to travel, do I think about as early as this summer or next summer or 2 years out? What's that time frame look like when you're thinking about putting together a plan?
All the above,
okay.
And for different reasons.
Okay.
So for an example, Alaska is a very desirable location. And if people start to think about Alaska, booking it this summer now, they're going to run into, and I'm going to run into for them, that many cruise lines are filled. The hotels in Anchorage are sold out already. Anchorage is not a huge city. So if you're going to do, which I would recommend, the southern cruise line from Anchorage down to Vancouver, it's always best, I think, for Alaska to start booking next year and in 2 years. I mean, sometimes cruise lines will offer an early booking savings. So, and then selection of cabins. If you're doing, and I'm just gonna, for this particular thing, I'm just speaking on cruises. For the cruise cabins, they're selective to midship and better locations get sold out first. So if you wait, you're going to kind of get, oh, well, we're sort of stuck towards the back of the ship now, or we're way in the front. And that might not matter to some people, but if it's your first cruise and you're in the front of the ship and there you might feel some more sea motion than in the midship, your experience might not be as ideal as you would have hoped. And it's funny because I do talk, it really is hard when I speak to people who say, yes, I don't do cruises. I did a Carnival once and I will never do another cruise again. And I just go, oh my gosh, okay. Carnival is one of many, many cruise lines. And there's different categories of cruise lines. And there's some that are a little bit higher luxury. There's some that are better price point. Carnival is a great price point for families and for young, for bringing young children, and they make it very affordable. But if that's your first experience, and maybe I would have recommended that you be on a different cruise line because I know you, I might tell you, okay, I think you might like Oceania, or you might like a Celebrity, or you might like even a smaller ship. So I kind of work with the clients and help to try to find what cruise experience is going to make you enjoy cruising. Because if you just have one cruise and then you won't even consider river cruising, which is a totally different experience and an amazing experience, but you've already in your mind said, yeah, I'm not a cruiser, I'm a land person. So I try to help educate people on those differences.
So earlier the better.
The earlier the better. So, yes.
Yeah.
And then there's occasions like for planning a land trip to Europe. That's a lot more detailed, and that can be a lot of little parts, and flights aren't always available with it, next year. A lot of them aren't available for until 9 to 10 months out. Sometimes 6 months is the best time to start looking at flights. So we try to look at a package and see, okay, depending on what time of the year it is. If it's June, July, oh my gosh, that's peak travel season in Europe. So we're going to need to book your hotels because the prices are going to go up. They're going to keep going up. And I try to help with, try to help put those together as well.
Okay, you mentioned that you're more than just cruises. You're doing land trips and mountain experiences as well, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have skiers. I have people that will go to the Dolomites in Italy, or that are wanting to go to Switzerland, or so different Patagonia, different kind of experiences. The
Okay.
Antarctic is really popular right now, so a lot of people are booking um, the expedition travel. So
Okay. So I've never used a travel advisor before. So for those that haven't, tell us the encompassing, like what all do you provide? Like, do I do any of the flight booking? How do you use our mileage, our flight miles? Tell us a little bit about that.
So what I try to be really honest with people, and what I am not, and I might have, what I'm not is I'm not a find me a deal, like just get me the best deal. That's not my my business. My business is helping save you time, because people do go online, and I know people are very savvy at looking at packages and flights, but if someone books a hotel on Expedia, and I've seen this over and over again on TripAdvisor, if someone books in a hotel and then they get to the hotel in Paris and they go to check in and the hotel doesn't have their reservation, they have themselves to to handle this situation as they're trying to check in, right? If they've gone through me, I don't charge a fee. For one thing, I don't charge a booking fee. Some agents do. Um, Depending on the package and the time of what I'm going to need to do, I may charge a fee that will be applied to the final payment. It's not in addition. In addition to, I'm going to charge you $300 just for my time. It's I might put that fee on there and then put that towards your final payment, so that if I did put a package together and someone looks at, okay, this flight, this hotel, you found all of these things, great, thank you very much. And I spent, 6 hours on it, and send the quote to them, and they just go and say, oh, I'm going to just book this on my own. Then that's the only time that a fee may happen. So where I would just keep that initial, for my time. But if someone books with me, I don't charge additional, and it's really that we travel a lot. My husband and I travel a lot. We've been to Europe. We lived in Spain. We've gone to Portugal. I mean, there's many places we've been to. So I try to use that experience in neighborhoods. And okay, I have clients right now that are going to Rome. They're starting in Barcelona, they're ending in Rome. Well, I know both of those cities, not great, but I know them pretty good. And so I know some great hotels, I know great neighborhoods and recommendations, and I can put tours together. I can put everything together, and I really spend time trying to find the best package. And it's mostly, I mean, I have clients that will text me and say, could you make a payment for da da da? And great, okay, I've got it. And so they just know they can text me, and it's a done deal. They don't have to worry about it. They can be doing whatever they're doing and just, oh, I just wanted you to take care of this so I don't have to. And then like I told the group yesterday, I do sometimes a little bit of hand holding while people are traveling when emergencies come up, when situations happen. And in an emergency, people can often be a little like, I don't know what to do. I'm in Italy. I had a client who was in Italy, and she had a death in her family. And she just had been there 1 week, but was planning on a month. So she's in this small town and she's not sure what to do, how to get home tomorrow. She goes, I need to get home. I need to get to Boston. She needed to get to Boston immediately. She said, but I don't, my cell phone program is not, it's hard for me to call and be on hold and try to get through the airlines and try to get and so she just messaged me and I got her home the next morning. And so just kind of be in there for when those situations happen.
So you're full service. We can call you, Stephanie, and say, hey, I want to do an Italy trip in 2028. And you're booking the flights, the hotels, the excursions, anything we need.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. Full service. Love it. Okay. We just got a couple more minutes here. I wanted to, one more cool thing is, what advice would you give to a family on any current trends? You mentioned South America and European trips, and we talked a little bit about Alaska, but where are people going that we wouldn't know about that is an experience?
Well, where people go, like right now, I haven't been and it's on my list, but Costa Rica is very popular. A lot of people are very interested in Costa Rica, and it is definitely a trip that is going to require some time and some planning because everything is very spread out. It's not where you can go to the Yucatan and stay in a resort and then drive to see everything from your resort. You're going to stay in one place, see what's there in Lake Arenal. Then you're going to go and you're going to stay in another place in the rainforest and then up to the beach. And so there's a lot to it. That's a big family trip that people are wanting. Europe is still, well, Iceland for some reason, Iceland is huge and it's an expensive trip, but Iceland and Japan is one that is a little bit of it's a little bit of a challenge only because there's so much to it. I mean, there's a lot of islands, and if how are you going to, what are the main things? And so I try to walk through people with what are the main things you want to see and do. And if you want to see Mount Fuji, I mean, different parts of the trip, but Japan is a big one. Okay. So all of those, and they seem pretty easy to book on your own. I will always recommend also, you would ask, travel protection. I will always recommend travel insurance for anyone booking trips because anything can happen on your trip. Like my clients who were just stuck in San Francisco for 2 days because their flights were getting canceled for the fog, and they were flying to Sydney, Australia. And because their flight was delayed so long, they missed the embarkation of their cruise in Sydney and had to purchase flights from Sydney to the next port. They did not have travel protection. So those will not be covered. Those are just out of pocket. The airline, thank goodness, was covering their 2-night hotel and food, gave them some vouchers, but that's not always the case. The airlines generally will not, if it's a natural event, if it's a weather event, they usually will not help you out with that. If it's a mechanical problem with the plane, or if it's a crew member not showing up, then that's on them. But they will say, well, there's thunderstorms in Caribbean where we had to cancel because of a thunderstorm leaving Cancun, and you have to find a hotel. But that's a risk of being in the Caribbean, that there are thunderstorms and that we can't fly. It's not going to be our problem. And so I always recommend, plus emergencies, medical emergencies happen. We were on a cruise and 3 people were evacuated by helicopter for heart, whatever the cases were. 3 people were evacuated, and those can add up to $80,000. Wow. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So be prepared, be proactive, work with Stephanie. I have your website scrolling on the bottom of the screen.
Thank
and by
you.
the way, makingwavestravel.com, great, beautiful website. There's all kinds of information in there, great ideas. I love the idea of, what else should you bring that you never think of on a trip, like an underwater camera. I never even thought about that. That's a cool idea. Bringing your own floaties because they're small and you can compress them when you pack them, and it's nice to have that when you're just trying to relax on the ocean.
Battery packs are always important. Yes,
Yeah,
backup batteries, and yeah.
Okay, all right. Stephanie, thank you so much for all you do for the chamber. Thank you for your membership. I love working with you on our networking group and the Spartans Tips group.
Well, thank you. I feel the same.
Absolutely. All right, everybody, remember to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and join us next week as we get to chat with our friends at Bogus Basin and see what's going on up there. Looks like we got some snow, and we're excited for a great weekend of skiing.
Paul, can I mention one event that I'm having coming up if anybody wants to reach out?
Absolutely.
I'm having on January 21st at the Proletariat Wine Club in Garden City. I don't know if they're chamber members.
They are.
I'll ask. Oh, good. They are. Great. A Viking representative from Oregon a Viking Cruise Line representative is coming from 5 to 7 to do a presentation on Viking cruise. So people who are interested in river cruising or hearing about Viking, he's going to have some special offers for us for people who attend that. So just to please either call me, well, definitely reach out to me and give me a call from that number that's on the screen.
Stephanie, thank you so much. We'll see you soon.
Thank you. You have a great day. Take care.